Hey guys, fat people should not wear white. I just got home from work and this is part of my uniform. I don't even have, I'm recording with an iPad. I don't have lighting. I used to have lighting. But the person that bought the lighting, we're not doing videos together anymore. So I titled this, It Isn't Always Easy to Be Nice, because, as I said many times, there are times when I don't want to be nice, but I'm going to choose to be nice. I had to bite my tongue. Okay, so here's the tea. Notice I said here's the tea like the younger generation does, so you understand. Let me spill some tea for you. The other day, because I'm a waitress, I belong to something called Unfiltered Servers Group. It is a group of waiters and waitresses, bartenders from all over the country. I think a few might be from out of the country. It's a place to go to air your grievances because other waitresses will understand. So the other night I wrote something about how frustrated I was because I've worked so hard and moved us up almost 100 points on TripAdvisor. And it was discouraging because I've had problems with one supervisor, only one. And he's the one that does the scheduling. And I feel as if I work just as hard as everybody else, and I am the only person there that's never been scheduled for a weekend shift at night. So, like this week, I was scheduled for 13 hours. Not enough to survive on at all, at all. So I've written something in the servers group saying sometimes I get really discouraged because of what's happening and the scheduling, okay? So one of my coworkers decided to write something rude underneath it. Now, to understand, first of all, I've had problems with this coworker before, and let me be clear, he is the only person at work that I've had direct problems with. The first incident happened not long after I started. He was not feeling well, and I said, would you like me to get you some of my medicine that you can take that to feel better? He had a headache. And he said, yes, okay, no problem. Well, we were busy, and I didn't get to it right away. So about a half hour later, he said, I need you to get it. And I said, well, I'll get it as soon as I can. And he started yelling and swearing at me. Okay, so that incident happens. This was at work when he was doing it. We were at a computer by ourselves, so nobody else heard him. He did come back and apologize. He said, I'm just out of it because I'm going through withdrawals. He was trying to quit doing a bunch of stuff. So, okay, I let it go. About 2 months later, and where I work, we're supposed to coach each other. We're supposed to help each other remember the rules. We work together as a team, and we work very well together as a team. He was chewing gum, and the one supervisor, the one that does the scheduling, was there. And so I walked up to him, my coworker, not the supervisor, and I said, you know, you're not supposed to be chewing gum on shift. He's supposed to just say heard. That's what we do when we're coached. Instead, he turns and starts screaming at me, and this is in the kitchen in front of the cooks, said, who the do you think you are, you effing, you're not my boss, and just goes off. And it continues for like 5 minutes. And I told him, no, stop talking to me that way. And I was angry. What I didn't do is go report him to the head bosses or file a complaint against him. He was swearing at me, yelling at me. Okay, so that happened. He apologized later. He said, I'm sorry, I'm under a lot of pressure because of what's happening with my kids. Okay, so I forgive him twice. I don't know if it was that night or a couple days later. As a group, we were all out in the parking lot and he had said something, and I explained to him, I understand that you're going through a hard time, but that does not give you a right to abuse me. He said he understood. There's been little things along the way that have happened, and he always ends up apologizing, but I told him, I said, did you notice I have never done anything to hurt you? I have never lashed out and sworn at you. I have never gotten you in trouble. You've had plenty of, our relationship is you're always apologizing for something when what you need to do is stop this behavior. Okay, so skip ahead to the other day in the servers group when I had written how frustrating I was. He writes underneath, you need to stop complaining. You're complaining about a water bottle, and that's ridiculous. All you need to do is hide it from him and just shut up about it. And I wrote back, I said, excuse me, I'm not going to break the rules. I'm not going to hide it from him. I have a doctor's note stating that I can have my water, that I need my water, that I need to constantly be drinking. I don't like warm water. I have to have ice water. My medications, sometimes they upset my stomach, and I don't always have time to stop and take a Zofran or a promethazine, so I'm constantly drinking ice water. This coworker goes off on me, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm not going to break the rules. I don't want to break the rules at work. I want him to understand that I'm allowed to have a water bottle. The excuse has been it's against the health code. No, it's not. I was a manager for a while at another restaurant and dealt with the health department. This is the water bottle. As long as I bring this in and it's clean and it has this lid, it's not against the health department. And it's not just that. I couldn't have a glass or a carafe full of water either, even though we give that to our cooks because it's really hot in the back of the line. So I told my coworker who commented under it that I wasn't going to break the rules and I didn't want to break the rules. He then wrote back, well, then you need to shut up. You have problems with other people there, and you use your age to get out of work, and you're always arguing with everybody else and complaining, and you don't run trays, and and he said, and you walk around acting like you're the boss. Okay, now you have to understand, A, this person has very little control over his anger. B, he always comes up with an excuse for doing it. C, everything he said was a lie. Today, I went to one of the, not higher up supervisors, but another one, and I asked him, this is what was said, do you think any of this is true? And he goes, no. And I asked a couple other people. I went and asked John, our dishwasher, who also does shelf, and I told him what was said, and he laughed. He goes, are you kidding me? I can tell him that you run trays all the time. As far as using my age to get out of work, I have never used my age as an excuse. I've never asked anybody to do my work for me. In fact, because of my age, I make sure I work doubly hard to prove that I'm not lazy. From the minute I clock in to the minute I clock out, I am constantly moving. I'm not staying in one place doing nothing and talking with other people. I am constantly moving. Because if I were to sit down or stop moving, that's when my bones start hurting. When I get off of work and I go sit down waiting for my Uber because I don't have a car, it is so difficult and painful to stand up afterwards. You have to understand, during an average shift, I can walk up to 5 to 6 miles. I keep track of it. So everything he said was a lie. I wrote back and I told him, you know what? This is strike 3. I am so tired of this. You are completely lying. We are no longer friends. We are coworkers, but I do not trust you. I no longer like you. We are no longer friends. Somebody else chimed in and said that the way that he was talking to me was inexcusable and rude. And I guess he was just shocked that somebody else came in. So then he writes to me, "I'm sorry, just ignore me, I'm bipolar." So I wrote back, "My son is bipolar and he doesn't talk to people the way that you do. Stop using it as an excuse. This was strike 3. We're no longer friends. You are my coworker. I will acknowledge you at work. I will be kind to you at work, but we are no longer friends." So then he takes down his whole conversation. He erases it, right? I need water. No problem. All right, it's over. I go into work today. He's there. I'm very polite. We're talking to each other. It only has to do with work. Everything's fine. He leaves. We both get cut at the same time. He was angry that he got cut, and another girl who had done a double didn't get cut. So he was mad. And the funny thing is, he pays someone else to do his side work all the time. He doesn't want to do side work. So he pays someone a few dollars to do it. But remember, he said, "I'm the one," right? Okay, so this is where me having to be kind comes in. 2 different people come to me. And you have to understand, the one person that came to me was the front of house today and had to check me out. And earlier, she'd come up to me and give me a hug, and she goes, "Dawn, you do so much work, you're always busy." And then she goes, "I'm just sad that you said all those bad things about us on Facebook." What? Are you kidding me? I'm constantly posting on Facebook how awesome my coworkers are and how much I love working with them. I have never put anything on Facebook specifically for any of my coworkers, ever. So she tells me this. And then somebody else tells me the same thing. This person who, the bipolar one, went around telling people that I was talking bad about them on Facebook. Here's the thing. I learned and went through, when you have cancer, you have no control over things. Your body does what it wants. It reacts what it wants. The doctors do what they want. You're kind of like an experiment. Chemotherapy is trying to kill the cancer before it kills you. No control. Zip. I'm homeless. I don't have control over a home. I don't have control over a car. I don't have a car. The only thing I have control over is my integrity and my work ethic. He brought that into question. I have a big problem with that. Part of me wants to go to the head boss and say, I want to file a complaint. I want it on his record. And this is where I have to be kind. I told the one girl, the first girl, who's a supervisor or like waitress head, we have different levels. I told her, I said, I want you to go onto Facebook and print out where I said anything bad about anyone. I'm not worried because I know that it's not there because it never happened. I love my coworkers, except for him. And I actually still care about him. I love him, but my 54 years on this earth has taught me that sometimes you have to cut toxic people out of your life, and he is toxic. So this is what I left work to. I told another person what had happened, and she said, yeah, well, he told me earlier that you were talking bad about everybody. I wasn't talking bad about anyone. And I told him, the only person that I've ever written about is my supervisor that doesn't give me hours and I feel does not like me. He's the head supervisor. He just moved to that position. And here's the thing. This whole conversation started with this person saying, just ignore him, say heard, break the rule, hide it. That's what he does. He says, yeah, I heard you. And then he doesn't care what was told to him. He does what he wants anyway. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break the rules. I'm not going to lower my standards. I'm not going to jeopardize my integrity. But I'm going to be kind. I'm making this video. It used to be I'd write it out and let it go. Now I'm just going to make a video and then I'll let it go. This falls under what I've said before and what I taught my children. No matter what you're going through, it's not an excuse to hurt somebody else. I'm not going to cry, even though I want to, because what I do at work is very important to me. It is also very important to me that my coworkers know that I'm there for them and that I care about them. I realize, and I get it all the time from my friends, why do you care about everyone? You shouldn't care about everybody. I can't help the way that my heart works. I care about my coworkers. I always support them. I'm kind to them. I'm there for them. I work hard to help them. We help each other. So it really hurts what he did. And part of me just wants to strangle him or embarrass him, call him out, get him written up, because most people would not have tolerated the abuse that I have taken from him. And swearing at me at the top of his lungs at work, and what he did the very first time and all the little times in between, that's abuse. He's bullying me. I spent my entire childhood being bullied, and I promised myself after I got out of an abusive marriage that it was not going to happen again. But I also understand this person also does not have an apartment or a home. He's staying with another waiter. He does not have a lot of money, and he has 2 beautiful children. He's going through a hard time. If I were to go to the head boss and make a complaint and say everything that he did, there's a good chance that he would lose his job. That's going to put him in an even worse situation, and he has children. I'm not going to do that to his kids. No matter how much he hurt me, and he did. Oh, he hurt me. I just can't do that to his kids. And I know that you guys are thinking that I'm crazy, that I should just end it. But I've always been the kind of person that I always look at the entire situation. I always try to look at the big picture. I always try to think about what the consequences or the ramifications are for what I choose to do. I think part of me, if I were to go to report him, it would be in spite because I'm angry. Yeah, I'm not gonna get him fired. I am gonna send him this video so he knows. I want you to know that what you did, you lied. You so lied. I work my butt off when I'm at work, from the minute I clock in till the minute I'm done. I don't talk bad about my coworkers. You know that. And I work my butt off. And what you did was wrong, and it was ugly, and it was hurtful. So the next time you do it, the next time you lie about me, or the next time you swear at me because you're having a bad day or a bad time or a hard time, I am going to go to the head people. I am. Because I will not be bullied. You need to fix this. You need to go back to those people and tell them the truth. You know what? I know you won't, because your ego won't allow you. So I'm going to send them this video. She will not find anything on Facebook where I talked bad about a coworker. You lied. I didn't. You hurt me. I believe in karma. And I think that you are a very unhappy person. Because when we try to make someone else miserable because we're miserable, that's not right. And that's not how you find happiness. So you're very lucky that I do believe in kindness, and I'm going to let this go. But don't do it again. If you do it again, because I've written down the things you've said and everything that's happened, I've written it down because I know how my memory is. Don't force me to file a complaint against you, because I will. Okay? Glad we had this talk. I think that you should go to those people and tell them that you made a mistake and that you were just pissed off. But that's your choice. I hope that my coworkers know me well enough to know that you're lying through your teeth. We'll see. Anyway, guys, that's it. This is me trying to choose kindness over choosing kindness. I'm going to forgive him. Because to be angry and carry that around, one of my favorite sayings is that anger does more damage to the vessel that carries it than that to which it's poured upon. And I don't want to walk around with that kind of anger. So I'm going to continue to be nice and professional around him. And I'm promising you guys right here, got a record of it, that the next time he pulls something like this, I'm going to file a complaint. There we go. There's the tea. End of story. Anyway, I wanted to make a funny video tonight. No, I don't feel like it. So I'll save it for tomorrow. Tomorrow's vlog. All right, so have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for watching.